There's a free AI coding partner that does what Claude Code does, runs in any terminal, and works with whatever model you want. It's called IDEs, and recently it wrote 77% of one of its own releases. The reason it survives every model launch comes down to one design choice most tools refuse to make. Start with what the thing actually is. IDEs is an open-source, terminal-native AI pair programmer, built by one developer, Paul Gauthier, and released under the Apache 2.0 license. That last part matters more than it sounds. This isn't a startup product with a funding round behind it. It's one person's project that lives in your terminal. And the shape of it is the whole point. IDEs is a thin command line layer, not an editor. It doesn't replace your setup. It drops into the Git repo you already have and works there. Now, one guy's terminal tool usually means a weekend hack nobody uses. Not here. One review clocked IDEs processing roughly 15 billion tokens a week across everyone actively running it. Sit with that for a second. That's a bare command line tool. No graphical interface, no flashy diff viewer, chewing through billions of tokens a week while the polished GUI copilots soaked up all the headlines. That's real, sustained usage. So why does a plain terminal tool have that kind of pull? Here's the design choice I mentioned, and it's the spine of the whole thing. The dominant way to do AI coding right now is the AI IDE. Think Cursor, Copilot, Windsurf. Each one is a proprietary editor with a model bundled inside. When the AI edits your code, you review it in their diff viewer and you click accept or reject. The editor, the model, and the review surface all ship together as one closed package. IDEs bet the exact opposite way. It bundles nothing. The first half of that bet is model freedom. You bring the model. Plug in Claude, plug in GPT, plug in Gemini, plug in DeepSeek, or point it at a local model running through Ollama on your own machine. To IDEs, the model is just a swappable input. It isn't baked in. You want to change which brain does the work? You change one setting. Compare that to a Cursor or a Copilot, where your model choices are whatever the vendor decided to hand you. The second half is the one I'd actually build around. Every change the AI makes, IDEs commits straight to Git, automatically, with a commit message it writes for you. Think about what that gives you. You're not reviewing edits inside some proprietary interface that only that one app understands. You review the AI's work with plain Git. You diff it, you undo it, you manage it with the exact same tools you already use for every other change in the project. Git is the review surface. One GitHub user described it as having your senior developer live right inside your Git repo. Nothing's a black box, because every edit is just another commit you can inspect and roll back. There's one more piece that makes a lightweight tool survive on serious code. IDEs builds what's called a repo map using TreeSitter, a syntax parser. Instead of stuffing every file into the model's context window, it parses your codebase into a structural map, function signatures, class structure, how the pieces connect. So IDEs understands the shape of a big repo without loading the whole thing every time you ask it something. That's how a thin CLI stays usable on a large codebase instead of choking on it. Put those pieces together and you get the answer to why IDEs outlasts every model launch. Because the model is just an input, nothing inside IDEs had to be rebuilt when a new frontier model dropped. GPT ships a new version, someone releases a cheaper open model, you swap it in and keep going. No architectural overhaul. The tool that other apps had to re-engineer around, IDEs just reconfigures. And there's a scoreboard for exactly this. IDEs runs its own coding benchmark called the Polyglot leaderboard, and it ranks whichever models are strongest at real coding work right now. Whatever name sits at the top this month will change. That's the point. The leaderboard is a menu, and IDEs lets you order off any line of it, including the best value option when you don't want to pay frontier prices. The payoff of all this shows up somewhere you can actually verify. IDEs builds itself. Its release notes track how much of each version the tool wrote. Some releases, barely a fifth was AI written. Others, well over 2/3. And the one from the top of this video, 77% of that release, written by IDEs. That's a rare thing. An AI coding tool with a public, checkable record of writing its own next version. Now, before you rip out whatever you're using, there's a catch, and it's a real one. IDEs still ships as O.X software. That version number is a signal. It means the maintainer reserves the right to break things, and he does. One review flags breaking changes across minor releases, command line flags that get renamed, shifts in the .iter.conf.yaml config file format IDEs reads its settings from. If you're a solo builder, you shrug and update. If you're a team pinning this into shared tooling or a CI/CD pipeline, you have to watch the changelog closely, because a small version bump can break your automation. The bigger gap is compliance. IDEs has no SOC 2 certification and no enterprise compliance program. If you work somewhere that requires a vendor security attestation before a tool is allowed near your code, IDEs has nothing to hand you. This is precisely where the commercial IDEs win. A Cursor or a Copilot can give your security team the paperwork. IDEs can't. It's a straight consequence of it being one person's open source project instead of a funded company with a legal department. So here's the fork, and it's cleaner than the trade-off list makes it sound. If you live in the terminal and you want every AI change to land as a reviewable Git commit instead of a black box edit, with the freedom to run whatever model you like, IDEs is your tool, and it costs nothing. If your blocker is that security attestation, or you just want a polished graphical experience with the model handled for you, a paid IDE is the honest pick. Neither is wrong. They're built for different people. But the durable lesson here is bigger than one tool. Every AI coding tool you adopt is really a bet on how tightly you want to be chained to a single vendor's model and interface. Aider made the loose bet. The model stays an input you can replace, and Git stays the permanent record of what the AI did. That's why it's already outlived several model generations that would have forced a bundled tool to rebuild from scratch. The real question for anything you pick up now isn't whether it has the best model this month. It's whether it'll still make sense the week after the next one ships.